Hello everyone, and welcome to my reaction to Solo Leveling Season 2, Episode 13. And this will be, sadly, the last episode for this season. I know that I didn't post a reaction. I did post like a short video last week. If you want to know why, I'll talk about it at the end of the video. But for now, I'm going to jump straight into the reaction because I know the majority of people are the shut up and react kind of people. So yeah, let's jump in and talk at the end because, you know, those kind of people don't realize that they can just skip through the parts they don't want to see. But to make it easy for them, I'll just do things this way.
ソンハンター、ビョングに何をするつもりなんですか。起きろ。ビョング。声が聞こえたんです。ミンハンターの自分の力を使えという声が。 生前どんな人だったのかわかる気がします。何の指示もなしにチャハンターの元に向かった。ビョングの力は貴重な戦力でしょう。ですが、あいつは戦いを望まない。あいつをまた戦場に立たせることはしてほしくありません。レッドゲートの時と同じです。
But he chose to be here even though he hated fighting, so that his power could be of use to everyone. It's like true courage is not to not be afraid of anything, but rather show up despite being afraid. So
ベックハンターが俺の肩を掴んだ。でも今回は命令ではなく切実な頼みのようだ。大丈夫です。俺も同じ考えでした。抽出解除。
That was very unexpected. I feel like I've been worried for a while that the show is making him less, for lack of a better word, gung-ho. Like the anime is making him a little bit less, maybe giving him more soft moments than compared to what the manhwa, because I haven't read the manhwa, but based on what people have been saying, I thought that maybe the anime was softening him a bit. But this moment proves to me that, because obviously this happened in the manhwa, so it's like, wow, he's still, you know, he's a good boy.
急にどうして？知らないわよ。女王は倒したんじゃないの。だからですよ。
They have nothing more to live for, so this is like chaos.
やべえことになってるな。島から逃げ出そうとするアリたちが本土方面に向かって広がっていってるようです。
Damn, he didn't need to spit it like that, but he did. And then in the freaking D&D, I can only go up to like level 12. So sad. No, I mean in Baldur's Gate 3. I was a little bit disappointed when I learned that.
起きろ。なんだこの闇。何も感じない。抽出中に何か起きたのか。戻ってきた。 お前が喋ったのか。他の奴らは喋れないのになぜこいつだけ。将軍級、初めて見る等級だ。喋れるのは等級が違うせいか。
名前をお答えください。
Oh, I knew what was coming because I made a joke a few episodes ago calling him Seru because I'm currently watching the Cell arc in Dragon Ball Z, and Seru, his name is, or his character was kind of like the inspiration for a Hunter x Hunter character, and so we were talking about that a lot. And this whole Ant Island arc kind of reminded me of Hunter x Hunter. And since the Hunter x Hunter was inspired by, maybe as far as I'm aware, the Seru character in Dragon Ball Z, it was like, so I called him Seru. And then someone said in the comments like, oh, so close, da 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 da. And then someone else replied, yeah. And so I knew his name. I just remembered now.
お前の名前はベルだ。
Seru and the Beru.
すごい数だな。
4000匹ほどが統率者を失い、ちりじりに逃げ回っているようです。
Can you
そんなに残ってるのか。
like
数
call
を減
them
らしてくれるか。
はい、王のご意向
or
なれば
destroy them?
お加盟ください。
行け。
よし、いいぞ。
ストンさん大丈夫ですか。
これは一体。
One at a time, yeah.
この光は。
わからん。だが助けてくれたの。いくらなんでも数が多すぎる。なんとかならないのか。
It's like cool buddy buddy.
歯がゆいな。空中にあっては我々では。
Wow, if it wasn't, everyone would be dead.
最後まで彼に助けられてしまったな。
He knew what I wanted to say.
また遠路はるばるこの国まで残党どもがおいでなすった。2日間ひっきりなしたな。次期射程圏に入ります。我が国の英雄殿が体をほぐされたいようだ。来た来た。少しは体を動かさないとな。一匹残さず海に沈めてやる。こんな雑魚どもじゃなくてあの黒い槍であればもう少し楽しめたはずなんだが残念だ。
I'm sorry, but okay, he's awesome, but the yellow hilt, I don't know what this is called, on the red,
少し楽しめたはず。
and these like, specific sleeves on the dark hair. I'm wanting to call him Gaston for some reason.
残念だ。
I don't recognize his voice. I'm a little disappointed.
ですがあなたのおかげで5名のハンターと我が国の多くの命を救う。望む形で報いることをお約束します。
How would he, what would he even choose
わかりました。
as a reward? This almost feels like the end of the story.
どう立ち上げたいと思ってい
Or
ま
the
す。
beginning of a new story.
おお、敵の死亡確認と残党狩り、それから資源の回収も大事な仕事や。最後の最後を任されるっちゅうのは信頼されてる証なんや。何もや、ここは立ち入り禁止区域や。なんでこんなとこに。
そのめかい。あれそのな。
あ、なんやて。何者か知らんけど、ここは許可なく。
何をした？
しゃがれると耳が痛い。しばし眠らせただけだ。ところで確認はできたか？
ああ、あいつの力で間違いない。
妙な話だ。あの者が人間を助けるとは思えない。
あいつの気候は今に始まったことではない。
引き上げるとしよう。
一人はここに来ているようだが、
この辺りはあの者に任せればよかろう。
関わりたくないということか。
狩りは予定通り開始する。変更はない。
まあ、あえて面倒なことをする必要もないか。
Oh, reunion!
進まない。あ、
Seriously, seriously, you're in a car in the traffic jam. This was funny because someone like him can literally like jump. What is the thing about Superman jumping over a building in a single bound? But I know then he'd have to go get his car and sometimes traffic jams can be fun when you listen to some good music and
この高速道路の先に？
ええ、B 級ゲートが発生しました。
道理で。
今、ハンターの手配をしていますが、事態の収集には時間がかかりそうです。
ゲートを閉じに来た。
はい、話は課長からですが、他のハンターたちの到着にはもう少し時間が必要そうでして。
like he needs
で
them.
も行っちゃった。いや、B 級だけどさ。あ、これは
Done.
いや、ここ絶対に
Wait
ネットゲートだろ。
Wait. Oh, I thought that. Why does this always happen to him? I thought he would be like in, out, done and dusted, quick, quick, quick. Why does it always happen to him? Can't he just have like one normal day? Just one.
行っちゃった。
とんだアクシデント続きだな。
I
出
know.
口は塞がったし、この密林もどこまで広がってんだ。
How does that keep happening to you? It's like someone is after you. But I mean.
この程度ならそこまで時間もかからないだろう。
Well, even if it is a red gate, it's gonna be done.
さっさと片付けてやる。
今回のレイドで思い知らされました。私はまだまだ未熟です。あの場において私はただ助けられるだけの存在だった。でも彼は違った。私はあの人に追いつきたい。
No, he has cheat codes. You can't.
あ
Don't
の人
even
に並
try.
び立ちたい。そのために
You need cheat codes?
私は強くなりたい。
はそれぞれ違う。家族を守るため、彼らの戦う目的
Chemistry.
はそれぞれ違う。家族を守る。
Because I know their words and their eyes might say angry, but their body language says chemistry.
目的はそれ。信念を貫く。
Wow.
存在を証明するため。次の獲物はドイツだ。
Wait. Here we go. Standing ovation. Don't look at my knees. I don't like my knees. Standing ovation. Perfect show. Most amazing anime of all time. 10 out of 10. Nothing to critique. Jinwoo is the most skibbity wrist toilet mother aura forming. All of that and more. Amazing. Okay, so if that's the kind of thing you came here to hear, your content is done now. You can leave, click out of the video. Those of you who want my honest opinion, you can stick around for the rest. That was a very, very good episode. I feel like it made me realize that my kind of disappointment with the previous episode is still justified. And the reason I say justified is because last week I didn't enjoy the episode that much, and I thought that it was because I let certain kind of people get to me. Because well, I've said it a few times now, I have been enjoying season 2 a lot more than season 1. I've been having a lot more fun with it. And and the build was really good up until not the last episode, but the one before that, and I was loving it, and I was getting really into it, and I was excited. And then, you know, a lot of people, as they do, it's like I've reacted to so many shows by now, and when a lot of scenes that should make me cry don't make me cry, and then people are like, oh, why don't you cry, you're so lame, you don't really understand the show, you don't really nothing. And then the one time I do cry, people comment, oh, so fake, blah blah blah, and I'm like, literally there's nothing you can do that's right, whether you cry, whether you don't cry, whether you scream, whether you don't scream. Like, I've gotten every comment. You overreact, you underreact, you're all kinds of, well, they don't say underreact, they say boring, but it means the same thing. So I thought, because I got a lot of those kinds of comments from not last week's episodes, but the week before that, so episode 11. And I thought I kind of let it get to me, because when I was watching episode 12, I couldn't get into it. I wasn't really having fun with it. And I was worried that maybe, you know, I let those people ruin it for me, in the sense of, you know, when you love football and you love going to football practice and you want to play football with your friends, but there's always that one dick that just ruins it for everyone. Like, I have a friend that, Vasilis, that he has this kind of guy in his football team, and they always, him and the whole team have so much fun playing. Even if they're losing, even if they're winning, they're loving it, they're having fun. But then there's always that one guy, and he gets angry when you don't kick right, but he's the one that messed up, or whatever it is. That, you know, one guy can ruin everyone's fun. And I was thinking a part of the fandom kind of ruined it for me, like, because I just wasn't having fun. I could appreciate that, you know, the visuals were great, especially, you know, it was kind of like normal for this show, and then it got great in like the last 4 minutes. And then it was over, and I was so disappointed, because I swear to God, this island has been built up since the first season, and everyone was freaking out about this Ant King guy, and then, okay, done. So I was kind of disappointed. It was good, but it was not my favorite ever. So that's why I never posted my reaction, because I just felt like there's not really much that I reacted, because I couldn't. Sorry, I don't know how to say that. I think I already said it. So to summarize, I just wasn't having as much fun with the episode. And I was worried it was because of other people, but this episode, it built up the next part again. And it is good, and I did enjoy it, despite, you know, the same people saying the same things. And maybe, you know, whatever next villain is going to happen, maybe Jinwoo is going to defeat him in one episode too. And maybe I'll be disappointed again, who knows? But at least the build-up of the show is great. So that's my honest opinion. It has fantastic visuals, and as an action show, it is great if all you really want is the action. But it's difficult to care about any character other than the main character, and that's not really something that I personally love in an anime. So to give this episode a score, though, as a finale for season 2, I ended up giving the last episode, don't shit your pants, please. If some of you are still here. But I feel like anyone who was gonna shit their pants has probably already left. Or they're furiously typing an angry comment at me that contains a bunch of rude words that my mods will anyway decide, you know what? you can share your opinion without insulting me on a personal level, because I don't think that makes for a constructive discussion. But yeah, I gave the last episode a 7.7. I thought the story was an 8. I thought the characters were 7. I was a bit disappointed by Beru in the end. Defeated in the one episode after all that, build up and stuff. It wasn't bad. 7 is still a good score. This is my scores key. 7 is still good. It's just not very good or great or perfect in my opinion. And perfection is obviously a very biased, subjective opinion on any form of art. Like, there are people who would pay millions for art that I would not even hang in my bathroom, okay? So, I gave characters a 7, visuals an 8, although I think for the last 4 minutes it was higher, but the first part, by this show's standards, were just good to me. So, 9 versus 7 to 7.5 averages out on an 8 in my opinion. And my enjoyment was pretty low, so that dragged the score down. But for episode 13, I would say, and that's my low score of the whole season. I mean, I've given it 8.5, 9, 9.2, 8.9, 10, 9, 8.7, 8.9, 9.8, 9.9. So, and yet still there are people. And the funny thing is that one of my favorite episodes is one of the lowest, the most disliked, sorry. The episode where he finally is able to wake his mother up, or heal his mother, whatever you want to call it. That's one of the least liked episodes for some reason. And it just goes to show how people's opinions can be like vastly different. And I feel like everyone, let me preface this by saying everyone is entitled to their own opinion and has their own taste, right? So I'm not saying those people are wrong, but I feel every single person who like downvoted, who hated that episode with Jin Woo and his mom, every person that made that episode the least liked of the whole show, those people should not be watching my videos. I feel like we don't have the same taste, so you're not gonna like my reaction. So if you are one of those people, most likely you're really mad at me right now for, my 7.7 score. But it's not everyone. Maybe some people feel the anime changed it too much compared to how it was in the manhwa. There's always reasonable people. It's just that, wow, least liked episode of the whole season because the MC dared to show some emotions. Oh god. I feel like there's another anime character, like a very iconic one. Eren. I won't bring up Attack on Titan actually further than that, but there were a lot of fans that hated how things turned out. But I mean, God forbid your MC is human, because MCs are fallible, but Jin wasn't even fallible. He literally cried for his mother. What the hell? That's like the most decent thing, the most humane thing. Anyway, don't wanna. So for episode 13, I would say a story for a finale, I would give it a 9. Characters 8. Although I want to give higher because I'm very hype about new characters being introduced, but I think I kind of count that as under story because I don't really know the characters yet. They're just being introduced. They're just being like, they're teasing the next part of the story for us just by introducing these new kinds of. Okay, then visuals 9, audio 9, direction, finale. I'm scoring this episode differently than I would score like episode 6 because it comes at a different point in the story. So for direction 9 and enjoyment / investment 8.5. A strong 8.5. Could be higher, but I'm still kind of recovering from like I felt like I was less invested in the last episode because It was not what I was expecting. I was not expecting a 1-episode fight. And it wasn't even a 1-episode fight. They only started fighting like at the end, and then it was so fast. If I remember correctly, sorry. I don't think it was entirely, how do I say? Maybe I was somewhat affected by a part of the very noisy fandom, but not so much. But of course my scores are subjective. No, so if you give a different score, please, by all means. I prefer comments where like you can agree with me, but add on why you disagree with me. If you say, oh no, how could you give characters an 8? I give it a 10 because. But most people just end up going, you're fucking dumb for giving characters an 8. And then they end it there, which is like, okay, but you can feel that way, but you need to back up there and at least give your score and back it up why. Because maybe it'll give me something to think about. And then next time it changes my perspective. I look at things from a fresh viewpoint and I'm like, wow, you know what, you were right. But I'm not going to feel that way if you just tell me I'm fucking dumb for not giving it a perfect score. It's like, it's actually counterproductive because what you're doing is you're making the show look so bad. You're making it look like one of those, like it has no substance because look at the fans. But it does have substance. I'm just saying, don't ruin the football game for everyone else. I don't know how to explain it. At the end of the day, I know that I should ignore comments, but I really like reading people's thoughts, whether it's positive or negative. But yeah, sometimes imagine waking up every day and that there's different people, like someone in your house is telling you you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid. You're gonna start believing it. And it's not the same for me because these people are not in my house and they're a much smaller amount of people who are enjoying my videos. But someone can give you 10 compliments and for some reason your head will always get stuck on the negative one especially because I am self-critical and I do want to improve myself. So I always have to sit down and say, okay, are they right? And then usually I find out, okay, no, they're a troll and they're being absolutely ridiculous. But I do sit and I think about negative comments more maybe than I think about positive ones. But not that I don't appreciate that. But with a show like this, I think I'm just gonna keep enjoying it the way that I enjoyed the first part of the season. I don't want to overthink it too much. If I feel disappointed, I'll say it. But for the most part, the action is great. The designs are beautiful. There's a lot to enjoy and appreciate. So yeah, I do look forward to the next season, whenever that might be. And I do look forward to hearing your thoughts. Oh, talking about the season. So my score for the episode was an 8.8, which I would round up to a 9 for this last episode. But then if I had to, let's give an average score. So this is my average score, means episode by episode. But I might, looking back over the whole thing, I might change the score. So 8.5, 9, 9.2, 8.9, 10, 9, 8.7, 8.9, 9.8, 9.9, 7.7, and 9. That gives us an average score for 9 for the season. And considering its genres, considering, you mainly watch the show for the action, I would say, yes, it's a 9. But if I had to be completely honest, if I compare this show as a 9 to my other 9s, so this falls within the 9 realms. So other shows that I have given a 9 include Angel Beats, the first season of Attack on Titan, the third season of Attack on Titan, Bakemonogatari, the first 300 episodes of Bleach. Like, I would not put Solo Leveling on the same level as Bleach because I care a lot more about the characters in Bleach, but also I got to spend 100 hundreds of episodes with them. Even like Delicious in Dungeon, like I think it's too difficult to compare it to other nines because each is like a nine in its own category, and I like them for different reasons. But like Attack on Titan and The Bleach has more than just the action going for it. Whereas for Solo Leveling, I think it's mainly the action. The visuals are like pleasing to the eye, and the main character is badass, but I don't particularly care about him or any of the other characters. I kind of care about the main character. He's definitely freaking awesome, but that's almost all there is to him. But you know what? That's just me. I love Luffy, I love Goku, and there's some people who hate them because they're so simple or for whatever reason. So don't take my opinion personally. But yeah, a 9 still though for the action, and I am looking forward to season 3. So that's it for my very subjective thoughts and feelings. I'll see you guys in the next season, and I look forward to reading your thoughts. Why do you give it a 10? Why did you give it a 9? Or whatever score you gave it, I can't wait to read. Bye!